Hallo Leute, hier ist JMN, willkommen zu meinem Video. Oh sorry, I accidentally slipped into my native language. The reason for this are I Promised Once and their latest album Salvation. The band was formed in Tokyo 2014 and surprises with a half Japanese, half German lineup. After 3 mini albums with a solid metalcore sound, they finally decided to record their full-length debut. Back in January I was contacted by their guitarist Niels, who asked me to do a review video. Sadly the album was already leaked at the time, probably because the original release was planned for January. Long story short, Niels sent me the album and I started listening. The release date went by and I completely scrapped my review script to take my break from YouTube. During my time off, this album may have been my most listened record. I gathered many additional impressions and had really time to collect my final thoughts. We will check it out together right after the intro. As always, we will start with the general release informations. Salvation was released on the 23rd of February on the American label Needful Things, which is a subdivision of Tragic Hero Records. The album offers a total of 11 tracks with a playtime of 40 minutes. 2 of the songs were previously released as music videos. This includes Succubus featuring Shrezers and Break featuring Blumio. The album can be directly ordered through the merch packet site of the band or different online shops. You can also get a digital copy on typical sites like iTunes or Amazon. If you want a first impression, you can also listen to the album on Spotify. Salvation starts with a dramatic choir which transitions well into the very melodic guitar work of the opener Succubus. This song is already a showcase for the wide range of vocals on this album. It starts with melodic clean vocals, but it also features some disgusting screams and aggressive growls. The song also features guest parts with members of the Russian post-hardcore group Shrezers, which lately saw a lot of hype. Picture Perfect is a rather streamlined up-tempo track which goes for a pretty melodic chorus. As a contrast, you get a massive breakdown at the 1 minute and 50 seconds mark. I really enjoy the heavy side of this track, especially the mechanical precision of the opening riff. However, overall it falls a bit flat compared to the following songs. The third track, Forever Lost, surprises with this big chorus, which was certainly written to be sung along with the crowd at their live shows. However, it wouldn't be a I Promised Once song without at least a few harsh sections. I really like the breakdown with these deep growls and especially those contrasting high notes, which kinda remind me of Slipknot's surfacing for some reason. Not sure why, maybe it just sounds familiar. Homecoming begins with great guitar work again and turns into an ultra catchy earworm with this really outstanding chorus. Listening to the instrumental parts, you can't really deny the fact that I Promised Once are massively influenced by traditional heavy metal. At times it feels kinda similar to bands like Trivium or Bullet for My Valentine, which also mix this modern metalcore with more traditional elements. Another proof for this is the fantastic guitar solo. The album continues with the catchy single Departed. I know I keep repeating myself, but I Promised Once really mastered the secret of creating these amazing hook lines. Almost every chorus on this album sticks to the ears. The verses feature a mix of screams and clean vocals, while the guitars and drums overall stick to this traditional sound again. A sick guitar solo rounds up this track perfectly. The Invasion marks the middle of this album and it slows the pace down with a calm piano opening. Also, the rest of the song stays mostly in mid to down tempo. This works really well together with this tight drumming and the accentuated riffs in the verses. The Invasion is a really nice way to change things up on this album. Fall of Adam starts with a really bass-driven verse, which really shows the talent of the bassist. Strangely, this vulnerable tone and this overall rhythm timing of the vocals in this part remind me of Korn for some reason. The chorus is once again massive and probably one of my favorites on this album. I stopped counting how many times I caught myself humming this melody. It really took me a while to shake this one off. With Chaos is a Ladder, we got the heaviest track on this whole album. It starts with straight hardcore riffs and drumming, which is accompanied by brutal screams and growls. At some point a melodic lead guitar kicks in, which kinda reminds me of some All Shall Perish albums. This time around the chorus seems rather weak, but I totally love the following solo section. This song was clearly made to blow off some steam and it works perfectly for this purpose. The album continues with the controversial single Break, which features the half German, half Japanese rapper Plumio. Honestly speaking, I was never a fan of those poppy hip-hop artists like Plumio, Crow or Neo Sido. I always stick to the street rap like Farid Bang or Flair. However, in the context of this album, the combination works perfectly. Plumio spits some tight lines and this mix of German and Japanese lyrics add a really interesting touch to the song. Overall, the song throws me back to older nu metal bands like Limp Bizkit or Head Planet Earth. Of course with a more heavy metalcore twist. Lucifer starts with groovy riffs and a technical lead guitar before it switches to an almost melo death metal sound. I didn't talk much about the drumming before, but this track is the perfect time to point it out. Show displays some great variation and perfect timing throughout this track, and he also surprises with some aggressive double bass parts. I have to admit those sound triggered, but I don't want to take anything away from his performance. The rest of the song has a fairly standard metalcore sound and stays mostly on the heavy side. Salvation ends with the title track, which is mostly a keyboard and synth driven instrumental. I guess there is some symbolism going on there, and the sound should capture this feeling of reaching salvation after going through the different emotions of the previous songs, but maybe I just give it too much credit. Anyway, a nice way to finish this album. After reaching the end of this record, it is finally time to summarize my thoughts and impressions. I listened to this album well over 30 times since I received a promo copy. The songs made a great first impression, but they grew even further with every new rotation. So far I didn't get tired of Salvation and there are no signs of the songs losing their magic. From a musical perspective, the album shows an impressive diversity and flexibility. Almost every song has its own twist to it and convinces with a nice mix of modern metalcore and traditional metal elements. The biggest strength are definitely the hook lines. Sure, they write some entertaining riffs and breakdowns, but those are hardly outstanding between other metalcore releases. The choruses on the other hand are amazing and they turn almost every song into an own highlight. On an instrumental level, each member shows a great display of skill. However, I have to give the spotlight to the guitarists. Some of those lead guitars really add a whole new level to the songwriting. I also enjoyed a huge amount of guitar solos, which really sets them apart from other genre artists. Lastly, we got the two vocalists George and Flo. I absolutely enjoyed the variety of vocals on this record. The harsh vocals are solid and offer a nice mix of screams, shouts and growls. However, the clean vocals really take the crown. They cover a huge range of different vocal colors and always fit the themes of the individual tracks. I really thought hard about this one and in the end I decided for an outstanding 9 out of 10. This score has a tendency towards 10 out of 10, but some aspects of tracks like Forever Lost made me go with the lower rating. With the channel reboot I want to rethink my rating system and for now 10 will be reserved for really 100% perfect albums. Of course, Salvation is still a sehr gut, how we would call it in German. It is definitely miles above the competition and I really hope to hear more from them in the future. This being said, we already came to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed this video and if you did, please leave me a like and make sure to discuss the album in the comment section. As always, for more content about Japanese music, you can subscribe to this channel or follow me on social media like Twitter, Facebook or Reddit. If you want to go the extra mile, you can also support me on Patreon. Any donation is appreciated, but it isn't a must. Also make sure to check out some of my other videos like these two for example. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.